Coming up on News Live at 6, Dick's Sporting Goods has stopped selling firearms to anyone under 21 in the wake of the Parkland Massacre.
And it's been 2 weeks since the Parkland tragedy. How did Stoneman Douglas administration handle students' first day back at school?
And White House Communications Director and longtime aide to the president, Hope Hicks, has resigned. What does this mean for the Trump administration? We'll have all that and more on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Dick's Sporting Goods stores will stop selling assault-style rifles. This includes hunting and outdoor subsidiary Field and Stream locations. Good evening, I'm Conor Federico.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. Dick's Sporting Goods CEO Ed Stack says the gunman in the Parkland High School shooting bought a gun legally from one of his stores last November. This chain will also raise the age at which customers can buy a firearm to 21.
The store had also scaled back their sale of assault rifles after the Sandy Hook shooting in Sandy Hook in 2012. Stack spoke about his decision earlier today.
We think it's the right thing to do. We, after Parkland, excuse me, we were so disturbed and saddened by what happened in Parkland that we said we need to do something. And we talked about what we needed to do, and we felt that we needed to make a statement that we will no longer sell assault-type rifles, high-capacity magazines, and a few other things.
University Union in the Newhouse and Visual Performing Arts schools are teaming up to screen Red Sparrow tomorrow night. Red Sparrow is an upcoming film starring Jennifer Lawrence. After the screening, Lawrence and director Francis Lawrence will hold a virtual Q&A with Syracuse students.
This Saturday, SU will support the Vera House White Ribbon campaign at the men's basketball game against Clemson. The White Ribbon campaign works to end domestic and sexual violence. 90 student volunteers will hand out wristbands and collect donations at the game. Lapel pins, paper ribbons, and chocolates can also be purchased to help support the campaign.
The annual Take Back the Night rally will take place on March 28th. Take Back the Night is an annual rally held in Hendricks Chapel that speaks out against sexual assault on college campuses. It also gives voices in support to victims and survivors of sexual assault. Take Back the Night t-shirts are currently on sale at the Shine box office for $10.
A film preservation specialist is visiting campus in March to talk about conserving old cinema. The lecture will feature Deborah Stoiber. Stoiber is a collection manager at the George Eastman Museum in Rochester. A hands-on workshop will precede the lecture and cover the basics of film handling and archiving. The lecture is Thursday, March 22nd in Byrd Library.
It seems like people are using their phones more and more every day. Citrus TV News reporter James Groh talked to students and parents about what they see as the biggest problem with the increasing screen consumption.
From the moment I wake up, when I'm walking to class, during class too, which I shouldn't, and when I'm eating, I use it when I'm walking to class, so basically every minute of the day.
Smartphones are a common sight on college campuses.
I actually use my phone pretty frequently. I just checked it yesterday. I use my phone about 7 hours per day.
I see it in my classrooms all the time. I'm constantly telling my students, put your phones away.
So what is anybody to do about this?
Because we all know it's a problem, but how do you fix it? I don't know.
Which is why parents flocked with their children to Eagle Hill Elementary to watch the movie Screenagers. It's a documentary about the effects of too much screen time. Parents came for answers.
This is something that none of us know what the right answer is because of our generation.
But just because the younger generation seems to use phones, laptops, and tablets more than their adult counterparts, that doesn't mean that adults aren't guilty of overconsumption either.
And we've all been that person or know someone who's been walking with their head down, looking at their phone until all of a sudden they run into something.
Sometimes technology is just the best way to distract a child.
Supposed to get ready and at the same time feed them. So what do? I put a movie on, put food in front of them, and I went and got ready.
So does that mean parents aren't enabling their children? That's not a simple question to answer.
We were very limiting for screen time, but as they get older, that's very difficult to do.
And it's not a case of ignorance is bliss either. Millennials know it's a problem.
I think it's a coping mechanism.
And they understand it's a distraction.
And one of the ways of me avoiding using social media is that I sometimes delete the apps when it comes to midterm and final season.
At the end of the film Screenagers, parents who attended came away with insights on how screen time affects the neurons of a child and ideas of how to communicate with their children about this issue. The question remains, though, what is going to happen in the long run? And that's a question no one seems to have an answer to yet. James Groh, CitrusTV.
You can learn more about screen usage statistics by going to our website.
A man accused of shooting a Syracuse shop owner is due back in court next month after debating plea deals. Rashawn Blanford allegedly shot the owner of a mini mart in the head after being confronted for stealing a bottle of soda. The victim survived the shooting with only small hearing loss. He's facing up to 50 years for charges of attempted murder, robbery, and possession of illegal weapons. And Lyft is using new and unusual methods to track their rivals in upstate New York. The company has sent one of its drivers to recruit Uber drivers to Lyft and understand the competition. The employee was told to take Uber rides around Syracuse, asking the drivers about Uber's business model. This is not the first time Lyft has sent people undercover. When asked, a spokesperson said that this is meant to improve Lyft's overall service.
In Poughkeepsie, schools closed today due to a school shooting threat from yesterday. The Poughkeepsie School District Superintendent released a statement last night that said the district is working closely with local police and the FBI. Sources say the threat was posted on social media. Several schools across the country have experienced more threats in the wake of the Florida shooting.
Rebekah, it was a beautiful day today. It certainly didn't feel like it was the last day of February.
Yes, it was nice most of the day, and then it started raining out of nowhere an hour ago. Our weather anchor Brendan Tierney is in studio to update us on what's going on out there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Last night we started tracking that storm that was arriving this afternoon. It did definitely come in right as we were tracking, about 4 o'clock into the 5 o'clock hour. The rain moved into the area. The wind picked up, which made the really nice day we had turn a little bit sour. We hit 62 degrees as our high today. Near record, the record was 66, set back in the 1990s. So not quite a record, but still very beautiful across Syracuse. Across the region, about the same. We're checking at 59 at the moment in Syracuse. A little bit colder down south, and that's because as we take a look at the radar, you're able to see those storms. They're starting to move through the area. They're scattered, so we can't track exactly where they are. The issue with that, though, is they'll be popping up throughout the night and into tomorrow. The issue with tomorrow, though, is March is coming in like a lion. We're expecting a lot of snow. It's going to be coming in tomorrow. We have a winter storm warning in effect tomorrow. It starts tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. in effect through Friday evening. We're tracking up to almost 9 inches of snow, so a lot of snow on its way. I have that coming up in my full Citrus TV 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Brendan. Looking forward to it. Coming up after the break, Parkland students return to Stoneman Douglas High School for the first day of classes after the shooting.
And the Afghan president is recognizing the Taliban as something new. Stay tuned.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus,
the White House Communications Director, Hope Hicks, is resigning.
This is according to White House officials as of tonight. Hicks is one of President Trump's longest-serving and closest aides. Yesterday, she spent the day testifying before the House Intelligence Committee.
In a statement, Hicks praised Trump and expressed gratitude to his administration.
And in other news, the CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee has also resigned.
A spokesman says CEO Scott Blackmun is stepping down due to ongoing health issues resulting from prostate cancer. This unexpected departure comes in the wake of a sexual assault scandal involving former USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar.
The 2028 Games will be held in Los Angeles.
Students returned to class at Stoneman Douglas High School today, exactly 2 weeks after the massacre.
Broward County wanted students and staff to be able to ease their way into re-entering the building, so they came for just a half day. Officials say nothing has changed at the school except for the 17 people who will be missed.
The superintendent believes they will be strong in the face of a tragedy.
But the place for us to be is together, back, having some sense of normalcy, and as a group, as a family, I think we can pull through it. We'll never forget this. It is a very traumatic situation. It's going to take a long time to try to get through it, but we have to do it together.
Because of this tragedy, Florida Governor Rick Scott has announced his new action plan.
It includes a $500 million investment into school safety and mental health. Scott talked with law enforcement, school staff, mental health experts, and students to create the new plan.
Major points include needing to be 21 to buy a firearm, mandatory active shooter drills in schools, and money for new mental health initiatives. The governor says he wants to make sure everyone stays safe.
The reforms that I'm proposing make it virtually impossible for anyone who has mental illness or is a danger to themselves or others to ever have access to a gun. My plan is a $500 million investment. We're also going to focus on increasing collaboration between our local sheriffs, our police chiefs, our schools, the Department of Children and Family, and the Department of Juvenile Justice.
A teacher at a Georgia high school today locked himself in a classroom and fired a shot from a handgun.
No students were in the room at the time and no one was injured in the incident. The school was evacuated and parents were told to pick up their children at the local trade center.
This comes 1 week after police found a threatening note at the school, but it is unclear if this is related to today's shooting.
Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort appeared in court this morning.
He was assigned a September 17th court date after pleading not guilty to 5 counts, including a conspiracy to launder more than $30 million.
Manafort will appear in a Virginia court on Friday afternoon, where he is facing 18 additional charges. The International Olympic Committee has fully restored Russia's membership.
Now that this year's Winter Olympics are over, the country has completed their suspension over state-sponsored doping.
A team of 168 Russians competed as part of a neutral team in Pyeongchang rather than under their nation's flag.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani is offering to recognize the Taliban as a political group.
This is part of his proposed process to end the more than 16 years of war that has ravaged Afghanistan. Other options mentioned at an international peace conference included a ceasefire, prisoner releases, and new elections.
The proposals are aimed at bringing the Taliban into the conversation, showing a major shift in strategy for the Afghan government.
The Nigerian government is releasing the names of 110 girls abducted by Boko Haram last week.
The girls, aged between 11 and 19 years old, were taken during a raid on their school. Boko Haram uses the girls as bargaining tools in hostage situations and attacks.
Nigerian officials are scrambling to find them as quickly as possible, but families of the victims still feel more should be done to prevent these kinds of raids.
Coming up, how many women smoke while pregnant? The Centers for Disease Control's released startling statistics.
And Pizza Hut is the new sponsor of the National Football League. Find out why after the break. Stay with us.
like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love, love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to CitrusTV News. We just got an update in our snowfall forecast. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's start by taking a look at your surface analysis map where you're able to see that storm developing. Yesterday, the low pressure system was way off to the west. It's moved up to our area, and that's bringing the moisture. It's wrapping off the Great Lakes and coming into the Syracuse area, and that's bringing this rain we're seeing right now and the snow that we're going to be getting tomorrow on the backside of the system. So as we put the radar into motion, you're able to see the storms moving through tonight and into tomorrow. The big question will be if we are above or below 32 degrees. That will determine if it's rain or snow that's falling throughout the day. As you're able to see, most of the storms moving through tomorrow, arriving around 4 p.m. Same thing we saw today. So tomorrow's not going to be that bad overall during the day. However, we do have the snow coming in at night. So as you take a look at your storm watch, we're looking at a high risk of snow. The wind will also be an issue. Update we went from 5 to 9 inches to 6 to 10 inches of snow. So it looks like we're going to be hitting 32 a little bit earlier in the day tomorrow night. So we're looking at the heavy wet snow moving into the area. Not really what we're used to seeing up in Syracuse. We're normally used to seeing more of that wet flaky snow. It's going to be very wet and heavy tomorrow. So as you take a look at your exclusive CitrusTV 5-day forecast, not bad overall for this time of the year, but considering the weather we've seen of late, it's not the best. Tomorrow 50 degrees will be our high. We're going to be reaching that pretty early in the day. However, we're going to be getting colder as the storm starts to move into the afternoon. Friday, starting your weekend, we do have that snow moving in. 3 to 6 inches of snow falling on Friday alone. It's going to be falling from Thursday into Friday, and then should be out of here Friday night, but Saturday, basketball game. It won't be snowing at the time, but there will be some snow on the ground from stuff that's going to be falling Friday night into Saturday. Then Sunday, 39 degrees, mostly sunny. The snow's finally out of here, and starting next week, kind of hitting 44 degrees. Nice for Syracuse, getting off the last week of midterms before spring break. So guys, overall, into next week, not that bad. We have a bit of a rough start to March, however. Good news is, going into April, it's going to be nice like a lamb.
All right, thank you so much, Brendan.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brendan. A new study reveals that 1 in 14 women in the United States still smokes while pregnant. The Centers for Disease Control statistics show the highest cigarette smoking mothers were in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Montana. California and Utah take the top spots for the least smoking. And the NFL has a new pep in its step as Pizza Hut becomes its new sponsor. Papa John's was the former sponsor, but pulled out after stating their drop in sales was because of how the NFL handled player protests. Pizza Hut says it's thrilled to work with the NFL to celebrate the love of pizza and football.
Alec Baldwin's talk show is set to air after the Oscars. The show will follow a similar format as Baldwin's current radio podcast. The actor interviews policymakers and music artists. The first episode will feature comedians Jerry Seinfeld and Kate McKinnon as guests. Baldwin hosted a similar talk show in 2013, which was canceled after Baldwin chased after and harassed a photographer. You're not seeing double or triple. Some people are doing a double take after learning Barbra Streisand cloned her dog twice. 2 of her dogs, Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet, are clones of Samantha, who passed away last year. Streisand had cells taken from her dog's mouth and stomach for the procedure. The procedure reportedly cost $50,000 per dog.
Coming up in sports, SU could really use a win tonight. It's early hockey on a Wednesday, and both the Jets and Giants are making news, hopefully even on everything.
Superheroes? Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Noah Eagle with sports. A week ago, Syracuse basketball fans waited with excitement for two top 10 games. Now, first it was number 10 North Carolina on Wednesday, then it was number 5 Duke over the weekend. Now, a win in either game would have done wonders for SU's tournament chances. Key words, though, would have. Spoiler alert, it didn't happen. Which means Syracuse goes into today's matchup with Boston College really needing to get back on track. And if January's matchup with the Eagles was any indication of how tonight should go out, Jim Boeheim will likely be pretty pleased. Let's see how it all went down. January 24th in the Dome, SU and BC. We start with Pascal Chukwu cleaning up the Tyus battle miss. SU within one, 8-7, 2 minutes gone by. Then it's Frank Howard finding O'Shea Brissett on the far side. Buries the triple, SU up by 1, and then it's more Brissett, the freshman, getting really involved early on into the lane, little pull-up jumper, and the bank is open on a Wednesday night in the Carrier Dome, and it's more Syracuse offense. Howard towards the rim, Pascal Chukwu guides it in there, 14.7 boards for the big man on the day, and I think you get the picture here. The offense was clicking. Battle, tough lay-in goes down, plus the foul. And doesn't matter who had the ball. Howard, no. Pascal Chukwu cannot be contained on the inside. Gets it to go, and we go to the second half. Pascal Chukwu's one shining moment came early, throws down the hammer, and then it's Tyus Battle capping it all off. This late three puts his team up by 17 points, and the Cuse would win by 18, 81-63 over BC. So game time for tonight is 9 o'clock, but make sure you tune in to Orange Television Network at 1 a.m. for Orange Press Pass. Catch Nick Dugan, Matthew Weasel Thayer, Chris Venzen. They'll break down all the action for you with highlights, analysis, and more. It's OPP, and it's only on OTN. Sticking with SU hoops, 2 Syracuse men's basketball starters were named to the All-ACC academic team. Commissioner John Swafford announced earlier today that Tyus Battle and Marek Dolezaj both qualified. Now, eligibility for the team truly hinges on academic performance. Players must earn at least a 3.0 GPA for the prior semester and as a cumulative mark throughout their academic careers. Aside from being academic weapons, each player is certainly dangerous on the court as well. Battle leads SU in scoring with nearly 20 points per game, while Dolezaj has really come into his own as the season has progressed. Well, it was an early game for the Crunch today and 11 a.m. face-off with the Marlies, but still plenty of excitement. Matthew Joseph buried the game winner with just 43 seconds into overtime for a 4-3 Syracuse victory. Now, it looked like the Crunch had this one in the bag late in regulation, but with 33 seconds left in the third period, Ben Smith tied this game at 3, and with the 1-goal win, Syracuse has now won 5 straight games. A lot of news in the NFL today, and we start with the Jets. This morning, 2-time Pro Bowler Matt Forte announced his retirement from football. The 32-year-old spent the majority of his 10-year career with the Bears before spending the final 2 years with New York. Forte had 1 year left on his contract, but that was a mere droplet compared to the splash Gang Green made just moments later. The Jets released defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson after 7 seasons with the team. Now, this news comes just 2 years after New York signed the 28-year-old to a 5-year, $86 million extension. And across town, the Giants are open to trading the number 2 overall pick in this year's NFL Draft. Big Blues new head coach Pat Shurmur said today at the scouting combine that he believes quarterback Eli Manning has years left as a starting quarterback in the league. Manning will be 38 before the end of this coming season. The Giants finished last year 3-13 without Odell Beckham Jr. That was a big hit for them.
No, I know there's some breaking news or sort of interesting news around one of your favorite all-time Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, Mirza Teletovic is possibly being forced to retire based on blood clots in his lungs. A really sad story. He's a great shooter, fantastic 2K player, as you know, Connor.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noah. Citrus TV will be right back after the break.
Hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News, your day planner for Thursday. 39 degrees at 9 a.m. We're going to 46 at noon, 45 at 6 p.m. That's when the rain will be in the area. We'll be changing over to snow as we get later into the night, guys. So not bad overall for your Thursday. Thursday night is going to be a little rough.
All right.
That's great.
Brendan?
That's great news, Brendan. And other great news is we have our own Rebekah Castor back after 3 or 4 weeks away at the Olympics. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be back from Pyeongchang. It was a great experience. A lot of just ups and downs at the games this year, but USA did okay. Kind of didn't get as many medals as we're used to getting, but I mean the gold medal in women's hockey, that's all I wanted to see.
I'm pretty excited Rebekah's back. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think that it's a great addition or re-addition to the team.
It's
Absolutely.
great. I did want to leave you in Korea a little bit because you're not a big curling fan.
I know Brendan was disappointed at me because I told him that I didn't like curling at all. But congratulations to the U.S. men's team. That was pretty cool that they snuck the gold there at the end. Yeah, congratulations to them.
Well, you have to like it a little bit more now, right? The curling?
Well, what do you have against the sport? I just want to know what you have against the sport.
I just don't even think it's a sport.
Oh,
you know?
All
I just
right.
don't think it's a sport.
All
That's
right.
wrong.
And that's all the time we have for you tonight. Make sure to follow Citrus TV News on Twitter and Facebook.
And check out our website at citrustv.com.
I'm Conor Federico.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. Have a great night, Syracuse.